Yes, people, what's going on? Welcome to AdamMcKola TV. I'm Adam. We are back now. We hear news that Bruno Fernandes is close to signing a new deal at Manchester United. That is despite having 3 years left on his current contract. There's been a lot of talk online, on social media, on radio, on YouTube, here, there and everywhere, about whether Bruno Fernandes deserves this new contract or not. Well, we'll discuss that in this video. Let us know your thoughts in the comments below. Make sure you're liking, commenting, sharing, and of course subscribing as well to AdamMcKola TV. And yeah, thank you for joining us. Now, we do hear that he's set to extend his stay at Manchester United. The announcement is scheduled to be made. We hear this from reliable sources both in the UK and in Europe, the likes of Fabrizio Romano as well, stating that Bruno Fernandes' announcement regarding his new contract is quite close. Now, this is spurred a lot of discussion about whether United are rewarding him, during a period of bad form, and whether this is signs of all things that are wrong with Manchester United. He still has 3 years left on his contract, so why should they renew his contract now? Is this rewarding failure? And I have to say, I disagree with that opinion. If anybody deserves a new contract at Manchester United, it is Bruno Fernandes. Yes, he's in poor form, this season. I think a lot of the team are in poor form this season. And United's state where we are currently, it coincides with the poor form of players like Bruno Fernandes. But I also think Bruno Fernandes has suffered massively from a change in manager, from a lack of real coaching and development over the last 2 years since he's come to Manchester United. Even under Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, when he was incredible in terms of goals and assists, he was pretty much given a free role. And we see now, and even then in modern day football, most teams are coached. So if you're playing with a player, and we've been playing with 2 players in Cristiano Ronaldo as well, that kind of have this free role, you're kind of letting your team down a little bit. Now, Bruno Fernandes is a man that takes chances, and this season he's taken chances and they haven't come off, and it can look frustrating. But I do think with the right coach, with the right tactics at Manchester United, this guy can still be one of the main men for us. When you look at his sheer number of goals and assists for Manchester United, he was a talismanic figure when he first come in for a long period of time as well. It wasn't just 5 games, it wasn't just 10 games. He did it for a couple seasons when he arrived at Manchester United on the back of magnificent form for Sporting. He gets goals and assists for fun, and you have to allow players like that to take chances. But I also think we need to hone his skills a little bit. He needs to focus more on playing football the right way and not getting so frustrated in games and letting his emotions show all the time. Look, I love that. I want players to be emotionally invested in a team, and I want players to give it their all. But also, that can let you down at times when maybe you're pressing out of shape or whatever, and teams are just then passing around you, or when you're trying things that you shouldn't and you're losing the ball. That's when we all get frustrated at him. But we know how good he is. When you look at his catalogue of goals, he scores all kind of goals. We've seen him score headers running into the box. We've seen him score delightful little chips. We've seen him score free kicks, penalties. We've seen him score goals like a striker, goals like a midfielder from outside the box. He does them all. And he also, people, will criticise him in terms of that rashness and when he does lose the ball and say he can't pass and all these things. But when you look at some of his assists as well, some of the passing is delightful. So I actually think United just have a job on their hands at the minute of just honing his talents, helping him get the best out of himself, and helping his team develop and get better as well. We'll talk about Ten Hag, we'll talk about Poch. I think they'd both be fantastic for him. They're probably not going to play an out-and-out number 10. He probably needs to become more of a number 8, in my opinion. Or, maybe he becomes a false 9 or something. But in the midfield, if he's going to be in there, I think he probably needs to become more of an 8, which means he has to be a little bit more disciplined. But people questioning whether he deserves a new contract. And the contract is to bring him in line with top earners at the club, which no one can deny him, he deserves that. But it also gets him tied down. We've seen United make mistakes with Paul Pogba and with other players in terms of being able to let them go on a free. We can't dilly-dally. And who knows, in a year's time, with 2 years left on his contract, his agent gets in his ear, he starts thinking about a potential free contract, or, contracts and wages have gone higher then. United have brought in 1 or 2 players in the summer. Now you have to pay him even more. So maybe it's the sensible thing to do. And if anyone, like I said, deserves a contract at Manchester United, it's Bruno Fernandes. I'm not going to let a little poor run of form affect my opinion on that. But I do also think he needs to improve. But we also need to help some of these players. I mean, look how we look at Marcus. Well, some people look at Marcus Rashford now and the things they say about him. Like, back-to-back seasons where he's getting 20 goals plus. He was a breath of fresh air for most of the time since he come into the Man United team. And again, you've got to develop these talents. You've got to give them the right coaching, the right tactics. You've got to give them the platform to succeed. Now, of course, Bruno, Rashford, all these players have to take some personal responsibility for where their form is. But I think a lot of it down as well is down to the club and where we are as a club. If you were a player, or if you weren't a Man United fan and you were advising a player, and they had the options of a lot of top clubs, United wouldn't be top of that list anymore. And we've got to make ourselves a club where we are top of those lists, where people do want to come and play for us. And I'm doing a video, we've already done a video on why I think Poch would be a great choice for Man United. I also think Ten Hag would be a great choice for Man United. And I'll be doing a video this week as well on reasons why I think Ten Hag is a great choice for Man United. And we'll discuss that later. But United giving a contract to Bruno isn't a problem to me. And we just need to do more for these players. Look, in a year's time, people will be saying, oh, Jadon Sancho's shit and that if we don't go the right, if we don't develop him right and we don't give him the right coaching and the right platform. And he's been a breath of fresh air for me this year. He's been one of our best players. So we keep going in these cycles with players. Rashford's a good player still. Bruno Fernandes is still a good player. Fucking Sancho's a fantastic... Like, these players still have something, not all of them. I know we need to get rid of a few. And I saw talk about potentially giving Luke Shaw a contract, which, I know I just scratched my head, but it literally made me scratch my head. Because, again, like, I can't see any manager necessarily definitely wanting him to stay long term. But maybe I'm being harsh on him than I am on Rashford and Bruno. Let us know your thoughts in the comments below. But yeah, I just found some of the reaction to Bruno. Like, we know he's going for a bad time at the minute, but come on, man. Give the guy a break, you know what I mean? Scored so many goals, so many assists. The guy's a match winner for Man United. And the trouble is, yes, he hasn't been performing, but he's not the only one that hasn't been performing. So, man, I'll be happy to see him sign that new contract. Let us know your thoughts in the comments below. Make sure you're liking, commenting, sharing, and of course subscribing as well. Get subscribing. Don't forget to, we got the McKola and Rory podcast out this week as well, and loads more coming up on AdamMcKola TV. So keep it locked. Until next time, I have been AdamMcKola. I'm out of here. Peace.